Tonight, we're diving into a question that's suddenly become very real. What happens when the age-old privilege of a royal family crashes head-on with the modern-day demand for accountability? Because breaking news out of the United Kingdom is putting that question to the ultimate test. Reports are coming in that the former Prince Andrew has been arrested at his home, on the Sandringham estate. Just let that sink in for a moment. A senior royal under arrest. This is a moment a lot of people thought would just never happen. So what does this actually look like on the ground? Well, the details that are starting to emerge, they're painting a pretty traumatic picture. This wasn't some quiet knock on the door. This was a major police operation. First, let's talk numbers. We're told a team of 8 police officers arrived at his home. And get this, they showed up in 6 separate metropolitan police vehicles. You don't do that unless you're trying to send a very, very clear message. This was a significant and very visible action. Okay, so let's define our terms here, because arrested can mean a few things. In this context, it doesn't mean he's been charged with a crime. Not yet. It means he's being formally questioned, it's the official start of a major investigation, and it means he has no choice but to cooperate. Now, this next part is absolutely crucial, because this is where we have to define the battlefield. The potential charge here, the whole reason for this investigation, it's almost certainly not what you think it is. This isn't about the stuff that's been all over the news for years. This is something else entirely. This is what we're looking at, misconduct in public office. It's a jailable offense right here in the UK, and it all boils down to one simple, powerful idea: a public official abusing the trust placed in them. So you might be asking, how was he a public official? Well, for more than a decade, he wasn't just a prince. He held an official government role as the UK's special representative for trade. That gave him incredible access to sensitive information. And it's that time in that role that's now at the very center of this police inquiry. And let's be absolutely crystal clear on this point. The police investigation happening right now in the United Kingdom is completely separate from the allegations connected to Jeffrey Epstein in the United States. This isn't about his private life, this is about his conduct while performing an official public duty for the state. So how do you go from a high-profile trade role to being arrested at your home? Let's try and connect the dots of what investigators might be looking into. The thinking seems to go something like this. As a trade envoy, he was in the room. He had access to privileged government and commercial information. The question the police are now asking is, did he use that information inappropriately? Did he talk about things he shouldn't have, possibly for his own benefit or for someone else's? Was state knowledge used as a private asset? Now, we have to stress this part. This is the theory that forms the basis for the investigation. These are the questions they're asking. It is not at this stage a proven fact. The real investigation is only just getting started. So, let's zoom out for a second. Why does this story matter so much, beyond just the headlines? Because what we're watching is bigger than one man. This is a clash between 2 massive concepts, the idea of royal privilege and the principle of public accountability. And it forces a question that applies to anyone in power, but it's especially pointed when it comes to royalty. When you represent your country, who do you really work for? Do you serve the nation that gives you that power, or do you serve yourself? See, that's what makes this a potential game changer. This isn't just another tabloid scandal. It's a fundamental test of whether a system built on inherited status can hold one of its own accountable for abusing power that was given to them by the state. So where do things go from here? Well, this arrest isn't the end of the story. In fact, it's the very, very beginning of what could be a long and complicated legal process. So step 1, the questioning, is happening right now. Step 2, the police will continue digging for evidence. And then comes step 3, the big decision, whether or not to actually press formal charges. And you can be sure the entire world is going to be watching every single step. Which leaves us with one final massive question. We are witnessing the British state investigating one of its most senior royals over an alleged abuse of public trust. So is this just about the actions of one man, or are we watching the very beginning of a much deeper, much more profound reckoning for the monarchy itself? That is the question that hangs over everything.